All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Neptune Labs. I've been to Neptune.com if you're trying to find us. This is the first episode of Beyond Visible by Neptune Labs, an editorial research series documenting artists whose worlds shape culture beyond immediate visibility.
Beyond vision? Wait. What do you mean by beyond vision?
Yeah, this is something that's beyond our vision. Let me break it down for you. Neptune became the first planet discovered through prediction before visibility. Mathematics revealed that an unseen force had to be shaping the solar system. Its presence was discovered through influence before visibility. That idea became one of the foundations here at Neptune Labs, highlighting creatives whose influence is felt long before broader visibility. Right, because just because something is visible doesn't mean it's actually influential. So we're here actually to highlight what we believe is the true influence behind what is visible. There's a lot of artists out there. Like there's a lot of talented artists. I'm going to be highlighting most of them that I can find. Like if I see your work and I think it's unique and I think it's one influential and I see other artists kind of being inspired by it, you're somebody to highlight. Even if you're not visible, I could still see the influence, right? And if I could still see your influence, that means you're somebody who's probably not from this planet, because you're creating things that haven't been seen before. That's what makes you special, because you're a visionary. You don't need to be within this realm to see the rest of the world. You can see all of the colors of the world. It's like you one of them cameras that be picking up all of the auras and stuff. You one of them infrared cameras. It's like that, but you're creative. So Beyond Visible will be highlighting you specifically, because the number one thing that we have to remember as artists, as people, is that visibility is delayed. Visibility is delayed. What we're seeing with our eyes is actually probably already happened. Let's get into it. Let's talk about what's already happened. That's literally pretty much what we're doing, is talking about what has already happened. Beyond Visible, episode 1. We're going to be highlighting these 4 artists. These are the first artists I wanted to highlight. I chose them because they're so influential. Like when you know, and when you know you're hearing somebody from the past in the future, you can tell that. You can instantly tell, like, oh my God, I'm listening to this person. I could tell I could tell the influence. There's artists that kind of exist through generations, through other artists, because their influence is actually that impactful. So you can still see them. You can still actually see them even though they're not there. And that's kind of interesting, because the artists are beyond visible. They're just like Neptune, where you can see the other planets kind of moving and going in a certain direction because of Neptune, but you can't see Neptune, but you can see the other planets. Like you can't see these guys I'm about to highlight normally, but you can see their influence, and I'm gonna explain that to you, right? And okay, we're gonna start with the first artist. I'm really excited to introduce this guy to you guys. You probably already know him if you listen to underground rap. All of the people today are gonna be underground rappers, because I just feel like that is the most influential genre, right? Rap is the most influential genre. Hip hop is the most influential genre. And then on top of that, the underground really defines what we see on mainstream. And today in mainstream media, there is a lot of confusion on what's popular and like what is good and what we should consider mainstream. But in my opinion, what we should consider mainstream are the things that actually influence the mainstream. I like to focus on underground artists because they are actually creating the world for mainstream to exist in. So I don't really give credit to mainstream artists as much. I want to give credit to the guys who actually built the world that these mainstream artists kind of make their money in. We're going to start with the first guy. I'm really excited, like I said. His name is Doo-Wop Kane. Let's go. Doo-Wop Kane, bro. And if you've been listening to Doo-Wop Kane, you know that this man has been in the game. He's been in the game for far too long to not get his recognition on like Cardi level, in my opinion. But there's more people like that. It's not just like that. The way we gave Cardi his kind of like love for creating an underground hype, we should all come together for other artists the same way we did for Cardi. I'm not trying to compare, because Cardi is the GOAT, but like Doo-Wop is one of those people where at the time where even Cardi came out, Doo-Wop was freaking running it at the time. Like doo-wop had records out. Like he just keeps dropping. And I'm actually gonna just do some research on him with you guys, just so you can see what I mean. I want to show you how he's influential. Not only has he been in the game for a long time, but doo-wop is somebody who stayed in the game and keeps changing his sound, but staying to himself. Let's just say this. Doo-wop has been like really influential with a lot of like jerk beats. He has been able to change his beat selection and stay with the same melodic flows throughout that. So let me just kind of like give you guys an understanding. When it comes to doo-wop, he always stays connected to the youth, which is really important because I think a lot of artists either they're too cool for school, right? Or they just kind of fall out the paint. And doo-wop has stayed he stayed like underground. Like bro, for somebody who's been in the game, he's like staying underground, which is kind of impressive because it's like hey, that means he's like really a part of this underground movement. He collaborates with a lot of artists before they go mainstream too, so you'll notice that. Yeah, so look right here, Pigeons and Planes, right? They're a great source too, great media source. They have referred to him as the godfather of internet rap, and I completely agree. I mean, his last album is called The Godfather for a reason. So even he knows that he's like kind of the foundation to it. His tape called A Dog's Influence and his collaborative work with younger artists like Xavier So Based and Netspin, he cemented his legacy for sure. Like I think he has a song with Netspin, I'm pretty sure. See, thing about doo-wop, like, I'm not gonna say he's like goated, like he's like doesn't miss. Like he has some songs that I don't really like would play myself, but I know it's because of his recording style is so raw, authentic that it's almost like we're picking out of the stuff that he's kind of like, this is what I want y'all to listen to. But I know he has so many bangers that we just haven't heard yet. But doo-wop Kane, bro, like for sure, like doo-wop Kane, yeah, Underdog, bro, like yeah, so Underdog album is just legendary album. I feel like that album like exists. It came out in 2018. That album could like you could play that in 2026 for sure. So Underdog album's lit. Forever Kane is lit. I know that's a fire one. And he also has a collab album with Xavier So Based, right? So that is showing that this man is tapping into the new scene early. Like, look, bro, Drake had a Molly Santana feature on his album, and people are like, "Wow, Drake's tapped in." Bro, doo-wop has an album with Xavier So Based called doo-wop So Based. That's as tapped in as you can get to internet rap or underground, in my opinion. Let's just go off of the last album dropped by doo-wop Kane, The Godfather, bro. Yo, that mess has game on that album. Like, there's real games, bro. Like, if you're somebody who's trying to like, make music and you just want an artist to listen to for inspiration, doo-wop is really good because his lyrics and his subject also changes as he ages. So he's a little bit more in The Godfather, a little bit more like giving out free game, and I think he really separates what makes certain artists last and which makes them like crash out. So he's just like ahead of the game, super responsible, not giving in to all the BS, wasting his career, you would say. So doo-wop Kane, I wanna just give him that time, as the first person we actually introduced on this show is doo-wop Kane, which is pretty cool. Like I'm proud of that. I'm proud that doo-wop is the first person I sat here and talked about because I was listening to bro, when I first even wanted to be creative. Like before I even knew I was an artist, I was listening to doo-wop. So that's really cool. Moving on. We're gonna move on to our next artist. And this person, dang, bro. Yo, I really love this list. I know I made it, but Saw Baby. Saw Baby is next on my list as beyond visible. As in Saw Baby's influence has been around. I don't gotta search up Saw Baby's albums because they're kind of limited. And not limited, but like there's just a certain amount of great quality. Thing about Saw Baby is that every album he makes, he tells a story, he creates a world, and it's really easy to remember it. Like great brand strategy by Saw Baby, I'd say. Because you can go with his first album, you can remember those songs, Titana, Boa, literally Purple Ape off that one. But that album is called Sandas, right? So that album is Sandas. That album's fire. Like hands down. You don't gotta like that style of music, but like if you talk about just like creativity, and that was the first artist I ever seen do that like really good was with Sandas. It just has a soundscape that is like I'm in his world. I can't explain it. And then he has Squidtastic, another great album where he created this world based off the first world, right? The first album created this animal king of the jungle feeling, right? And then Squidtastic kind of took it in a more aquatic sound. Still like super saw baby. Like you could hear the Atlanta, like the truth in his lyrics. It just sounds so like he's at home, you know? And then we go to Barnacles, where it's like we taking the Squidtastic and then we doing even more with it. Cause Barnacles, that mess, it was like curated like the best beats I've heard from him at the time. Like super, super solid album. And then we go over to Do It for Demon. Boy, that was just a whole different. See, then he left. He kind of left all that other stuff, his world that he created, the Squid world. He kind of left it behind, and he's doing it for his. I'm guessing one of his dead homies, R.I.P. But he's doing it for Demon, and this album I listened to so much, and I really listened to it because of the calmness of it, and it's really a dark album. The beats are dark, the vibe is dark, but it doesn't feel, I could say, like it doesn't feel evil, I guess. It just feels very like, remorseful, kind of vengeful, a little bit, like a little bit salty. You got to be grieving a little bit. I could hear that in this album. I could hear the grief in it, but he's still kind of giving up his truth and not letting his pain like seep into the music. Like it's not like an album you can't listen to. It's just that like he's on his shit. Like he not playing around. Like he doing it for Demon. Like everything is like the first album, Divine Order, right? Like Saw Baby's very calculated with his music. He doesn't just make music for fun. Like he puts his story out there, and that's why I highlighted him, because most artists these days, they don't really spend that much time curating. They kind of just put stuff out there. And I think that the artists that show that they're willing to curate and they're willing to like work on a body of work, like a project or an album, those artists are actually going to kind of succeed more. For example, another guy who's like that is Don Toliver. He's very focused on making sure his idea is crystal clear, right? And you notice that Saw Baby has been working with Don Toliver and most of the guys within Cactus Jack. They can appreciate his ability to really form albums and put songs together. He's not on the mainstream stage right now for no reason. There's mainstream guys who actually want to work with him because they see that work ethic. That is how you know he's influential in a way that he's influencing mainstream. He's your favorite artist. He's another guy just like that. And let's not mention with Saw Baby. Let's not forget to mention he can also like do collabs with Clairo, which is like super influential because she's a whole different genre. So he's really like a bridge for creatives. Doesn't matter who you are. There's a Saw Baby song that you could be like, yo, this is kind of crazy, but I like it. He also has some leaks. The Leak Out album. But I'd say his best album is Sahim. Man, I even went to that concert to watch that in person. Sahim is hands down his best album. He put really a body of work centered around his name. Like we're taking Saw Baby, we're taking all of the ideas, the illusions, we're taking it out. It's just him and the microphone, right? And we got some of the best tracks. Like I could promise you, Riding Down Sylvan Road, bro, you could play that any day of your life. You're gonna feel like you just gonna feel like you opened a door to a new reality. That's really what the album was. He opened a door to a new world. And I cannot say anything bad about Saw Baby. Like I really can't, bro. Like, cause I honestly, for a while, I was like, why isn't he getting the credit he deserves? Like, why isn't he working with more people? Why isn't he, I guess, why isn't he more prevalent in the industry? And now I'm realizing that it's not like something that's not really something you want. You really want to just focus on your craft, and your influence will be seen, right? That's why we're doing this channel, and it's kind of cool because I'm able to appreciate artists more because I'm not expecting them to be mainstream. I'm just waiting to hear them. I'm kind of like, where do I see their influence? That to me defines a great artist. Not if they're on mainstream, but if I can see their influence. And seeing Saw Baby work with Travis Scott and seeing him work with Don Toliver, and those are mainstream guys now. So seeing him work with them is showing me that his influence is taking him to that stage that he deserves to be at. So there's nothing to worry about Saw Baby getting publicity because he's that guy. So he is that guy. I love that. So we're gonna move on. And this is not in any order, by the way. This is just like how the design came out. But we're moving on to Uno the Activist, aka The Act. I like to call him Uno the Activist because that's how I was introduced to him, and I like Uno the Activist. I think that's a sick name, personally. But Uno is super lit, bro. Like, if you know, you know. But how do you not know Uno at this point? Right? I mean, it's possible. It's possible because that's what we're here for. We're here to help you guys out. So if you don't know Uno the Activist, welcome to your rap father. One of your rap fathers, right? Especially underground type joints. So Uno has been around in the game too for a very long time, to where, you know, you can hear the growth in his projects. You can hear it. And that's like one of the best things about artists is when you can hear the growth, because some guys, bro, I don't know how you don't grow in music, because obviously, but some guys really don't grow. But this guy, Uno the Activist, has been around for a while, and he's actually one of the foundations to the underground scene. And I mean foundation as in, like, he's a foundational piece to where it's not just about music with him. It's about fashion. It's about streetwear. It's about grunge in a way. It's about what does it mean to be, I guess, not mainstream. He's like a true definition of underground. The guys I mentioned before, Saw Baby and Doo-Wop, they're underground, but they kind of exist in their own worlds, right? Like, they're in their own bubbles, but they're underground. Uno to me feels like an artist where his influence is everywhere, and he seems like he's everywhere, where he's like locked in, but he's a little bit like outcasted in a way to the mainstream industry. But it seems like the industry pays attention to what Uno does, then they move, right? It's like, what does Uno want? Because look, you can look at Uno's first album. Uno has Lucky, and Cardi and Thousand Band Fani on this, right? So that's on his first album. He has Lucky and Cardi, which ended up becoming like the two pillars of underground street rap. Bro, Lucky is like the guy. Like, Lucky is one of the GOATs because he's so raw. And Cardi's one of the GOATs because he knows how to formulate his lyrics to like make a hit. Like, Cardi knows how to just hop on a beat, tell the truth. But Uno, he knows how to not only, like, I feel like his beat selection, Uno's beat selection is one of the best parts about Uno the Activist, because he's picking the beats that force him to be a better rapper, right? Let me say that again.
Uno picks beats that forces him to be a better rapper.
So Uno is like a chef to me. You can have all these other guys come in the kitchen and cook, but I'm like, Uno is the one who picks out what is even on the grocery list. Like Cardi, for example. I don't think Cardi would be able to be Cardi without Uno's time in the kitchen. Same thing with everyone after Cardi. The way these beats be popping these days, and the vocal inflections and the change of your vocal inflation, that is something that Uno the Activist is like a great person at. Like, he's great at that. Like, he's one of the best at changing his voice to fit the pocket of the song. It doesn't matter what song you listen to, from his old songs to his new songs, you can hear him playing with he is the instrument. Uno the Activist is the definition of the artist who's the instrument. One of the another reasons why he's so great. Like, he's not in a box. You can't say that you know what a Uno song sounds like. Like, I dare you. Yeah. Nah, it's not happening. Bro, my favorite Uno album too is Live, Shine, Die. Like, every album off that song is like, Live, Shine, Die is like my album, bro. Like, That's the album where I was listening to that before I knew people liked Uno. I didn't even know y'all was messing with him like that. And it wasn't till later on when I realized, like, bro, this is my guy Uno. Like, everybody playing Uno. But yeah, like Limbus is good. All those projects. Yeah, he has a collab album with Thousand Band Fani, which was also good. For Christ's sakes, 8 album. Hey, he already, bro. His album is just titled 8. Uno might be onto something because Neptune is the 8th planet from the sun. We are number 8 over here. His album is called 8. He's on Beyond Vision episode 1. Nothing more accurate than that album, because he knows what time we on. He can feel that, bro. Like he on that creative wavelength. You can tell. So that's another thing, bro. He has this song with Travis Barker. He has a whole album with Travis Barker. But Paper by Uno and Travis Barker, fire, bro. Like name another artist who has a collab tape with a drummer from a rock band. Name another rapper like that. So it's like Uno has crossed the boundaries, bro. He's beyond the vision, bro. And like I said on my Instagram, by the end of 2026, rap will be rock and rock will be rap. You can book it. Okay. So yeah, I mean, bro, and like even, okay, look, in 2020 he made this album Dedication, right? And it's inspired by Wayne's album, which is so crazy because Cardi's album is inspired by Wayne's album. And it's like using Wayne as inspo is super smart. Using Wayne as inspo is super smart. Uno was doing that in 2020, right? He was doing that in 2020 using Wayne as inspo. It's like crazy, bro. He got the Uno verse album. It just doesn't end with Uno. That's the thing about Uno, is that he drops so much more than these other guys. Like I think him and Doo-Wop dropped the most for sure. For guys who've been in the game. For guys who have been in the game, they drop a lot. Like y'all don't understand. They drop a lot. And like kudos to them for still having that like energy on the mic, you know? I respect that. Like, bro, Uno has so many great albums. Like, bro, I'm looking through them right now and it doesn't end. Bro, not to mention, like, so Uno's collabs are very ahead of his time, similar to Doo-Wop. Let's just go back to his tracks with MDMA. If you know MDMA, you know that's a talented guy. And it's really, I can hear Uno's like influence with MDMA. I can really hear it. And then he also has a collab album with Made in Tokyo, which everyone knows, one of those popping guys back in the day. Still is, if you can, you know, find a lane for him. And then he has another collab tape with Bear One Boss, which is another one of my favorite artists I'm going to highlight soon. Bear One Boss, another guy kind of outcasted, but super creative. Like Bear One Boss, one of those kids that having a guy like Uno in your corner is just amazing. It's really great to have a guy like Uno in your corner. And then he also has Omega Music Reloaded. I think that came out last year, where he does the Uno the Activist with the Act. So I kind of like how he has 2 artists under his title, under his name. And then his latest album, Troy, also great. Like, bro, like if I were to go into Uno, it would take a lot longer because I would have to break down like his impact on culture too, because it's not just music. I feel like a lot of this streetwear grunge skate style, very just like kind of hardcore a little bit. It wouldn't be the same without Uno's foot forward in the music industry. He really helped set the ground for this grunginess that we see today and just the rawness that we see today. So he really adds the fire to the mix. I feel like everybody has their swag in their own way, but Uno's swag is more about just being raw as hell. Super tough. I can't go into it anymore because, you know, time, but I might actually go into it more eventually if I do like a separate video for each of these guys. That's only if you guys want to. Like, I don't know if I need to do like complete breakdowns on these guys because, you know, they're obviously amazing. Like, if you want to know more about them, just listen to their music and they will literally tell you. So like there's nothing I could tell you, but I'm just introducing these guys, right? So next up we have Cody Shane. I really wanted to add a girl to this list because there's been some girls that have got popping these couple years. Like maybe the past 5 years, there's more girl rappers than there's ever been. We need to obviously acknowledge that women are in the game, like for real, and to stay, which is great. Like I love hearing girl rappers. I think it's cool to hear that perspective. You know how girls be, if you got a girlfriend, she be scared to tell you the truth. because she don't want to piss you off, bro. Like if you know how girls are, like they will be thinking something and not tell you just so you don't get pissed. So a lot of women be like filtering themselves and censoring themselves before they even talk, and it's like, damn, why don't you just talk? It's because they're in the patriarchy, right? So if you know, you know how they think. So hearing girl rappers is really cool because it kind of breaks the mold. Like hearing women speak for what they think and not worrying about what a guy thinks or worrying about if she's a hoe or not. Like who cares? Who cares? Like let them be themselves. Like let them be them just like we are ourselves as guys. I think it's really cool that women have a platform and a lane in music and in rap within this art. But I do think it's important to be like, okay, well, you know, like what is that lane and who defined that lane and how do we like give credit to where credit is due within women's music, especially as guys. Like we don't really know like who is the girl Young Thug? That's what I be trying to figure out. Like, who's the girl Young Thug? Who's the girl Future? Like, that's how I look at it. Like, who's their equivalent? With these guys I put on the list, all of them are equivalent to me. Like, there's no ranking. But I wanted to make sure I added a girl there because rap is not just about these underground guys. It's about what women, like, women are just as much as the underground as men are. Like, the women be having flyer fits. They be going harder with the cigarettes. They be burning holes. Like, burn holes be looking tough. Like, they just got all type of tattoos be going crazy. Like, you can't act like women are just girls and they're different from us when they got the same swag, the same music. So it's almost like you got to show your respect the exact same way. And with that, I want to give that to Cody Shane because she, one of them girls who never stood for what men have told her to be. She defines her own way of being a woman. I can see that through the way she speaks and what she talks about, and her rapping is very like, I mean, I'm just like, dang, bro. Like, you know how many girls want to be like her? Like, she opened the door for so many girls. Like, from 2017, like, you can go back to even Uno out. Like, she's on the Uno album. She's on the Uno album back in the day. So she has been laying the groundwork for women to be on the main stage for so long. And I don't even think she's on the main stage like she should be because her vocals are there. Her cadence is there. Her rhyme patterns are there. She knows how to get on a song and make sure it's good. There's people who get on a song and the song is like forgettable. But like when she gets on it, I'll start singing it. I'll start having that hook in my head because she's also a hook goddess. Like she can come on there, lay down some vocals that sound super pretty, but what she's saying is super mask. She's saying some masculine stuff too. Like I'm like, I could rock with her duality. Cody Shane is the definition of duality. I think another thing that's very important to point out about women's music is that no matter what, for women rapper to be successful, for a woman to be successful in rap, she must still have some type of feminine forecast in her music in some type of way. Like she needs to be projecting femininity in some way to be popular because obviously like that's what other girls look for. They're trying to feel related to, and also that's what men like to hear from women. So she knows that though. She's not like, oh, I'm a dude, I'm a thugging it out. Like, you know, she's not Bro-Rilla. She's not Bro-Rilla. Shoot, Glorilla ain't even Bro-Rilla. You know what I'm saying? But she's super like, she's like pretty, she's fly, she does everything. But on top of that, she has good music, which makes it even better. Like, let's go to Cody Shane. Like, let's see how long she been in the game. I want to show y'all, like, girls like, what's her name? Coy Leroy. Coy Leroy wouldn't be here without Cody Shane. That's what people got to realize, give her respect, because this is what I mean by like forecasting or beyond the vision. This is what I mean by beyond vision. If Cody Shane did not want to be an artist, if she did not open the door up, there's actually a high chance that there's a lot of girls today within underground who wouldn't even think about it, because Cody Shane is like the living proof that it's possible. I mean, in 2018, she had a song with Trippie Redd, Love Drugs, right? That was in 2018. She's had songs that go back to 2017, right? So she's been in the game for at least 10 years. I can book it 10 years for sure. She does, and she still doesn't have the best recognition. And like I know there's girls in the game who have more music views than her, right? And like listens than her. But I don't think that they have more experience than her, no. I don't think that they open the doors like she has, no. So they may be the ones getting the vision, but Cody Shane is the one getting the influence. And you can look it up yourself. Let me search it up too. Like I wanna actually look at this one because I'm not a girl, so I don't pay attention too much to everything going on. I want to know like the Cody Shane influence. Like who is influenced by her? Yeah, like right here it says she influenced the modern alternative rap and R&B space by pioneering a vibrant, melodic, and emotional bubblegum trap sound. And that's exactly what it is. It's like this bubblegum trap that girls like Baby Sosa sings like that sometimes. There's some other girls who sing like that. But it is this bubblegum trap. It always hits. Let's see. Yeah, she also has songs with Lil Yachty. So she's like really helped pioneer like the melodic rap. A lot of these guys like Yachty, when they came in singing and all that, she was there the whole time behind the scenes. That girl laying down melodies. Girls are always the one really pushing the melodic stuff. It's not really the guys who really get that. The girls have been like masters at that for years, bro. We got to give them their credit. Um, she also influenced the sad girl aesthetic too. I actually noticed that where in her music she has a lot of songs that are very love based and oriented and a lot of emotions, which is like what I said. Like a lot of girls, you got to have that in your music because it really helps translate to the listeners. But the thing about her, the thing about Cody Shane is I could hear like a certain influence, and I don't want this to sound bad, but SZA, that girl SZA sounds a lot like Cody Shane, and like I don't know who came first, is chicken or egg, but maybe it's just like it doesn't matter. They both sound great, but like I hear that sad girl influence, and I know that Cody Shane has been doing that for a long time. So when I hear that from other artists, I do think of Cody Shane now. Like I do hear Cody Shane, the sad girl aesthetic. So she did her number with that one. Yeah. Yeah, and then you could say that she uses like R&B influence a lot. So she's somebody who's kind of true to the game where you won't find her on too many like rage beats and stuff, but she has like the R&B, underground rap. She hops on songs with your favorite underground rapper, right? So she's in the industry, she's in the game, but she's more of like a jack of all trades. She's more of like a great hook, but I think she just should be more respected as a boss girl who put the game on. She should be looked at like Cardi or like Wayne or Nicki, like not all the way there because she still has work to do, but she should be looked at as in like, yeah, you just help open the door for all of us. So you deserve your flowers every time we see you because you opened the door for all of us. That's the kind of girl Cody Shane is to me. I actually think that's what all these artists are to me. All these artists have opened the door for other artists to exist, and their influence is the only reason we're able to see these other artists do anything. So if it wasn't for these four artists, Doo-Wop, Kane, Saw Baby, Uno the Activist, The Act, and Cody Shane, the underground scene would be alive today. Yes, I'm not saying it wouldn't be here, but I'm saying the way the underground is today would not be the way it is without these four people. And you can go from the way we're rapping. Doo-Wop has pushed the beats and pushed like the rawness of hopping on the mic with earbuds. That's Doo-Wop, right? That's Doo-Wop. BandLab style rapping is Doo-Wop because he was doing that from the jump. He was making music at like 9 years old, bro. Like he was the first one not editing, just putting it out there, right? That's Doo-Wop. That's his influence. And then Saw Baby, when it comes to people being like dark, wearing spikes, emo, that is Saw Baby. He's the one who pushed that first. Saw Baby the one who pushed that first. He pushed the dark wave first. And if you want to say anybody else did, you don't know what you're talking about. Saw Baby was the original person to come with any of that. So let's just go like that. Doo-Wop had the recording style. Saw Baby had the aesthetic. And Uno the Activist had them beats and the flow. Uno the Activist had the beats and the flow. Cody Shane had the women input. That's Cody Shane, right? She had the women input on there. And she got the sad girl vibes like the scissors and all that. So she got like, she's in that. I'm just naming stuff off my dome. That's just off my dome. If you think these guys are not influential, then maybe it's the next video for you, right? Maybe the next Beyond Visible episode will be better for you. But Beyond Visible episode 1, I wanted to highlight these guys first and foremost because the sound we listen to when we doing our stuff, hip hop, rap, whatever you like. There's other genres too that I'm gonna talk about eventually. But right here, right now, Beyond Visible. Episode number 1 goes to those guys: Doo-Wop Kane, Saw Baby, The Act, Uno the Activist, and Cody Shane. If you're somebody who wants to be highlighted, or you want to be talked about, or you want to be highlighted in any way as an artist, I'm here. I can help you. We can come up with a plan. It could be a video. I could talk about your work. We could see how it goes. But right now, Beyond Visible, we're focusing on artists who are unseen, who actually influence the community, but they're not seen in the community. So that's what we're doing, right? If you guys have any questions, any conversation you want to have, just come over to Neptune. You know, come back home, just leave the atmosphere, order your flight to Neptune, do what you got to do. It was a wonderful video. I'm glad I was able to get out here with you guys. I'm going to keep doing this. So you guys enjoy your trip to Neptune.